Hello everybody and welcome to Pride TV, but most of all, welcome to the 19th Pride March for Victoria. It seems only yesterday really that a handful of people marched down this very street without all the organisation that we have today, and we're thankful. We have our local council here, the City of Port Phillip behind us. We have some great sponsors. Our Prime Minister's gay sister has actually stood up and said a few words, and it's going to be a great day. The weather, it's about 40 degrees in Melbourne. It is really, really hot, as you can see. But we're looking forward to a fantastic march, so stay tuned everybody. Don't leave Pride TV, don't leave your computers, because we're in for a fabulous march.
Today, when you see a member of Athlete Ally walking down Fitzroy Street with the Principle 6 placard, think they are supporting our GLBTI brothers and sisters in Russia. Principle 6, for those who don't know, is a campaign run by Athlete Ally that aims to uphold the Olympic principle of inclusion and underscores that Russia's anti-GLBTI discrimination is incompatible with the Olympics movement. Added to that, we have the Darwin Out Games and the Bingham Cup represented by the Melbourne Chargers. Both GLBTI sporting events that wouldn't have even happened 19 years ago. And 19 years ago, if you had have said that Australian Capital Territory would have introduced legislation that allowed same-sex couples to get married, you would have been committed. While the High Court has subsequently struck down these laws, the fact that in less than 2 decades, such a notion that seems so fanciful shows how far we've come. We've still got a long way to go, and this was only highlighted yesterday when I received a phone call from the City of Port Phillip. Many of the signs that you see down Fitzroy Street were graffiti. Signs along the street informing all the residents and community of road closures were graffitied on Friday night with homophobic slogans. Something as simple as a sign notifying all of a road closure became the whiteboard of someone's hate and fear. It illustrates that we still face a battle in 2014. Under the Pride March sign, it was written, "Proud of what?" To whoever you are, we say, look at all who have turned up today. That's what we're proud of. Also scrawled so eloquently across the sign was the message, "Filthy faggots." Well, today we take ownership of the word faggot. We don't take ownership of filthy. We are and remain proud members and supporters of the GLBTI community. We are happy to march and show our support and solidarity publicly. We have no need to subscribe speech on boards in both the darkness of time or mind. Today, Sunday the 2nd February, we will march with pride for and with all our community and their supporters. On behalf of Pride March Victoria, I'd like to say Happy Pride.
Well, there was a lot being said there, but I was very excited about the fact that we have hot footballers here today, and I think that's there for the gay men to look at. Maybe we need some hot softball players for the women to look at. Like, maybe we should ask them to come next year. Anyways, I'd also like to say thank you to everyone who's been able to brave 40 degrees, but who says no to hot gays? No one? All right, fair enough. I would like to introduce Amanda Stevens, Mayor of City of Port Phillip. If you could put your hands together.
Respectfully acknowledges the Yalakawillam clan of the Boonwurrung. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. We acknowledge and uphold their continuing relationship to this land. I'd like to acknowledge Health Minister David Davis, the Opposition Leader Daniel Andrews, Member for Prahran Clem Newton-Brown, Member for Albert Park Martin Foley, the Victorian Police Chief Commissioner Ken Lay, Pride March Victoria's President Matt Renwick, who we just heard from, and my fellow councillors Taman, Bond, Tuzo, Horvath, Huxley and Voss. And welcome very much to you, to St Kilda. Thank you for coming out on such a hot day. Welcome. It's wonderful to see so many of you here today, even braving these temperatures. We were due to have a record crowd of 40,000 people and a record number of organisations, but I think it's a tribute to the strength of Pride March that we have so many here today, and I know that there are some people here who very much wanted to come but couldn't because of the heat, but we will march for you. This year it's been 19 years that the Pride March has been marching, and the city's supported the march ever since its inception. We've done logistics, we've supported financially, we've been there every step of the way. For 19 years we've flown the rainbow flag from our 3 town halls, and we're very proud to do so. There's been some media commentary this week about why we would choose to take the Australian flag down for a week and fly the rainbow flag. And I say here today, we will continue to proudly fly the rainbow flag as a symbol of our city's unwavering belief in fairness, justice and equality for all. We think it's really important. At the City of Port Phillip, we welcome all comers. We welcome you. We celebrate your diversity as residents, workers and visitors. We encourage you to be yourselves. We're proud. We want you to be proud, we want you to be loud, and we want you to know that you're valued members of our vibrant community. And lastly, I'll keep this short because it is hot. Much has been achieved in 19 years, but the Pride March continues to be a relevant reminder of the push for equality. As Matt just talked about, the tangible example of discrimination with the defacing of the signs on Friday night shows that we still have a long way to go. We've got issues including same-sex marriage that continue to be advocated for. So thank you for being a part of this important celebration. Have a great march, look after each other and look after this place. Thank you.
I think it's amazing that we've come so far. I also myself have come a long way since I first started coming to Pride. I used to come down here and make out with boys behind the dumpsters at the after party, and I've progressed to now being here with my fiancée, who has made me more respectable than I am right now. I'd like to introduce the Honourable David Davis, the MLC Southern Metropolitan Regional Minister for Ageing and Health Leader for Government in the Legislative Council. If you can put your hands together.
I want to acknowledge Councillor Stevens, the Mayor, and thank her for the welcome that the City of Port Phillip has extended today. Ken Lay, the Chief Commissioner, and I think it is a very good thing that Ken Lay is marching today with us all. I want to acknowledge my parliamentary colleagues, Daniel Andrews, Leader of the Opposition, Clem Newton-Brown, the Member for Prahran, Martin Foley, the Member for Albert Park, and a number of other Members of Parliament who are here, David Southwick and Georgie Crozier and others. I also want to acknowledge the members of the Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, Transgender and Intersex Health and Wellbeing Committee, the GLBTI MAC, and I welcome the chance to march with them in this important parade. I also want to acknowledge, along with the Mayor, the traditional owners of the land on which we're meeting today, and pay my respects to their elders past and present. This is an important day. It does bring the community together, all parts of the community, and we are able to act as one. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity. It's also important, I think, to put on record the government's support and commitment for the community and our determination to see that discrimination and unfairness is pushed back in any way we can and wherever we can. My colleague Mary Wooldridge and I were very proud to support the Say No to Homophobia campaign and to put money and resources into that. The government has also put additional resources into supporting school-based programs, and we seek to make sure that that program is expanded with further real money to make sure the outcomes are achieved in this state. And the point that has been referred to, there is still obviously a way to go when people put graffiti and people put unhelpful messages that should not be part of our community and should not be part of our society. And I think we can join together in pushing back against that and saying, no, this is not the tolerant of Victoria, this is not the inclusive Victoria of which we are all very proud. This year, the government has made significant further progress. We announced at the midsummer last year the community-based rapid testing, an important step. The PrEP trial has followed, and we will be making further announcements that are relevant as we go forward. I want to pay specific tribute to Clem Newton-Brown and the work that he has done on advocating for the expungement of previous convictions. That is an important, both symbolic and practical change that will make a difference. I was particularly proud that the Premier was at Midsummer and was the first Premier in the state's history who has been so strong in his recognition of the need for a tolerant and inclusive society, and I pay tribute to his support and enthusiasm.
And moving on next, we have the Honourable Daniel Andrews, Member for Mulgrave, Leader of the Opposition, Shadow Minister for Multicultural and Veteran Affairs. Put your hands together. What a handsome man.
Oh, well, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you. Can I begin my very brief remarks by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pay my respects to their elders past and present. To Matt, to Amanda, to David, to Martin and also to Clem and the many other distinguished guests, most notably Chief Commissioner Ken Lay, can I acknowledge all of those distinguished guests and say how proud I am to again be here at something that, whilst it began as protest, it was born of protest, it's become a celebration of identity. And that is something that is so important as we reflect on all the achievements, all the things that have occurred over the last 19 years and perhaps longer. We are in a better and a stronger and I think a fairer place today, but there's so much more that needs to be done. Whether it be marriage equality, which is not negotiable. If you're about equality, then you've got to support it everywhere, every time. Or whether it's making sure that gender questioning, same-sex attracted young people can get the care and support, the empowerment and be safe, not just at 100 schools in Victoria, but at every school in Victoria. All of us have to acknowledge that there's much, much more to do. And today's about a celebration of identity, a celebration of all that's been achieved, but ultimately it must be a recognition that we've got a lot more to do. My final message is this: every Victorian should be proud, every Victorian should be empowered, every Victorian should be safe to be exactly who they are. And that's what today's about. Happy Pride.
I actually said yes to doing this today because they told me that there'd be this amazing balcony and I could pretend I was Eva Perone from Evita speaking to all of you, which is kind of weird. I do love Madonna. Now, we'll just quickly say that Christine Forster's here today, who is the sister of Tony Abbott, and while some people get drowned out by motorcycles, a couple of Dykes on a bike, if you like. Thank you. I think while, you know, her brother Tony Abbott maybe does not always support same-sex marriage, I think it's so important that she comes down here today and supports an event like this. And I remind people that I have my siblings here today, and I don't always agree with them, but that's what makes us different and ourselves. So I think it's amazing that she's here. I don't know, should I wait for these motorcyclists to stop? I think that one just flashed a boo. Oh wait, that's not a boo.